What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Soul Immortal with the Mortal Minds. I know the season is upon us, man, where wedding bells will be ringing soon, man. There'll be a wedding every weekend. So I wanted to make this video specifically for men that are either getting ready to get married or the men that are considering marriage in the near future. As a blue pill man, there's no better feeling than meeting a young lady, man, and she's nice, she's sweet, she's fine, she's sexy. You have similar interests, man, and you kick it off, man. And over time, you two are spending lots of time together, and life is good. After so much time, you get to meet her family members, meeting her friends, she meets yours. You get to the point where you start attending family functions and reunions, and the bond gets real close. And then one day you just wake up, man, and say, you know what? My woman is fine, man. Life is good. I think I want to marry this woman. So you get up, you go down to Jared's and spend 2.5 months' salary, like society has taught you to do. You go and spend $30,000 on a wedding because as a blue pill man, your mind is saying, you know what, I want this woman's day to be the most special day in her life. So you drop out all the money, man, to make this day special, and you go get married. Now, what you don't know from this point, man, is that you're about to experience a movie. Now, concerning this movie, I have some good news and I have some bad news. Now, the good news is that this movie only has 4 scenes in it. The bad news is that this movie could last from up to anywhere from a year to up to 30 years. Now, having experienced this movie myself, a part of me feels bad because I don't want to spoil it for you. But at the same time, as a MGTOW man, I feel obligated to share it with you. And this movie, man, you've never seen a trailer for it. This movie you've never seen in theaters. You've never seen it on DVD. But millions of men across the globe, if you ask them about this movie, they can tell you about this movie, and they'll pretty much all have the same story. And the reason behind that is because this movie is one you live, not watch. So, men, grab your popcorn, grab your cold sodas, grab your adult beverages, sit back and enjoy. Now, the honeymoon scene is the bomb. The first thing you'll notice about the honeymoon scene is that there's going to be so much balance. I mean, you'll get off work some days, man, and dinner will be made. On the weekends when you're out, cutting the yard and washing the cars, she'll be in the house cleaning and cooking lunch and dinner. There'll just be so much balance. You know what I mean? Y'all spend lots of time together, have a chance to do a lot of new things. Life will be good. One thing you'll notice is that, since you two both had your own careers and now you're under one household, there'll be more money to spend. This will be the scene where, you'll be getting all the toys you wanted. If you wanted that motorcycle, if you wanted that sports car, if you wanted that those 4-wheelers. This will be the scene where all this stuff will be good, man. Lots of money spending during the honeymoon stages. She'll be getting all the high heels she wants. She'll be getting all the purses. She'll be getting her hair done every weekend. Nails will stay on point. Life will be good, man. Life will be good. Toward the end of this stage, man, you'll notice the desire for kids. So, you'll plan on kids. You might have a child or two. And life overall, man, would just be good. Now, one thing to note on this stage as your wife being faithful, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Unless she's just a straight up hoe, you have absolutely nothing to worry about, man. Life in the honeymoon stage is awesome. It's pretty much just man's paradise on earth. Now, scene 2 is called the plateau scene. Now, at this time, you two have already seen several countries in the world. Y'all will have already, had several toys, several cars, swapping furniture out on a regular basis. You will have already experienced all that. And life will get to the point where it'll start to flatten out on you. Now your blue pill mindset is going to say, you know what? I have a good job. My wife is happy. She has a nice vehicle. I've built this nice home. She's getting this, she's getting that. Your blue pill mindset is going to think life is good. But in all actuality, it's not. I made a video called What Do Women Want? And this is where this video comes into play. Now, the thing is not that she's not liking all the things that she has. The problem is she sees what she doesn't have. And what I mean by that is this is when your wife will be on social media. She'll be on Facebook looking at what everybody else has been getting. She'll be on Instagram looking at all the swimsuit models and everyone Snapchatting. This is the stage where she won't be satisfied. So in other words, she'll see all of her friends getting new vehicles and she'll continue to want these new vehicles. She'll be on Instagram seeing all these women post these booty pictures and breast shots, and she'll either start wanting some breast implants or some other feature to modify her body. So what do you do as a man? As a blue pill man, you say, you know what? Well, I want my wife to be happy, so what do? So you go to work and you work harder. So instead of working 40 hours a week, now you're working 45, 50, maybe even 60 hours a week. Or even get a new job, working several hours a week. And this is where one of the problems come in. See, you working more hours to make sure she can have more things, but what's taking place in the background is she's getting bored because not only is life flattened out, she's bored and she's lonely because you're not there anymore. So this is where another video I made come into play. I made a video called She Will Always Have a Man on Deck. Now, during this scene, your wife, she will not cheat. She will not have a man on deck. This scene will be more like a draft stage. This will be the point in time where she'll be on Facebook, looking up old boyfriends. Now, she may not be conversating with them, but she'll be sending that friend request. This will be the point in time where, the 20 or 30 guys that's been pending in her inbox to be her friend, this will be the time when she analyzes these guys and she won't have no conversation with them, but she'll start giving them access to her page, right? This is a draft stage, right? Now, this is the stage where, ex-boyfriends and guys that had a crush on her back in high school will slowly start coming into the scene. Now, as far as toward the end of the plateau stage, this is when you'll start thinking about all the MGTOW videos you started to watch. This is when you start thinking about all the conversations you and your friends had over the last, few months before you got married. This will be the time where you thought about, the conversation that you and your uncle had about, reasons you shouldn't get married. And that's how scene 2 is going to end on you, man. But I can tell you one thing about scene 3. The plot thickens. Now, scene 3 is called The Awakening. And the reason it's called The Awakening is because this is the scene where both you and your wife will become very aware of a few things. Now, your wife she'll become aware of the fact that the government has given her an out through the forms of alimony and child support. And you'll become aware that you fucked up extremely. Now, to you blue pill men, there's something you really need to understand. You know, your wife can tell you that she loves you, she's into you, but the reason she married you is because of what you can do for her, right? Now, what the government has done is put things in place where the things that you do for her, the money that you provide for her, the government has put things in place where she can get rid of you and you still fit the bill. You know, now this is the stage, this is the scene where the government pretty much, you know, cuts a man's balls off, bronzes them and places them in his wife's purse. This is the scene that you see most men out when you're out about, when you're out at the mall, when you're at a restaurant. You know, as a red pill man and as a man that has experienced this movie, I can see it from a mile away. I can see it in a man's energy, the way he walks, the way he talks, when his wife has his balls in her purse. I see it, and I can almost feel his pain. So the energy changes drastically in this stage. You know, this is where you'll start seeing, you know, wives talking crazy to the husbands. You know, the kids will start seeing the wives talking crazy, and they'll start talking crazy. The whole aspect, the whole dynamics of the relationship will have changed. That balance I talked about in scene 1, out the window. You know, you'll go from mowing the yard and washing the cars on Saturday to doing that, then coming inside, having to clean and cook the meal at the same time while she roams social media. Now, at this point, she's already planned a divorce, man. Now, I'm not saying she's going to execute it, but her exit strategy has already been thought out. It's fully thought out. It's fully planned. The only thing that's going to determine when she's going to execute is how long you can take this pain. And this is the scene that's going to determine if this is going to be a year or 30 years, what I talked about earlier. So some men, you know, get to this stage and in no time they're like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this, and they pull the plug. And this scene is very short. But you guys, they can never come out of that blue pill phase. You can remain in this scene for several years. Now, as far as faithfulness, I talked about in scene 2, there was a draft. In scene 3, guys, men are on deck. Men are on deck. Now, are they going to bat? You really have to watch the video that I made about it to really determine if she's being sexually active with these guys. So, in a nutshell, scene 3 is where, you know, the romantic comedy goes bad. And scene 4 is up ahead. And I can tell you that scene 4 is a thriller. Now, scene 4 is a painful scene. Scene 4 is called Death by Legal Injection. I'm going to say it again. Death by legal, not lethal, but legal injection. And it's called that because this is the stage where the government, this is the stage where the state will strap you to a gurney and do you in, man. See, in this scene, the blue pill starts to fade away. The red pill comes out strong. But see, at this point, it's too late. The damage is done. Now, in your mind, you're thinking, okay, you know what? I got married. We spent X amount of years together. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to take everything I brought, and she can just take everything she brought, and we'll just go our separate ways. But men, it works nothing like that. It works nothing like that. You remember all those hours you were working overtime to make sure she was happy? So while you were working all these hours, man, that 401k you had was just stacking up. Now, at the time your 401k was stacking up, instead of investing in her 401k, she was still out buying Gucci purses, Louis sandals, or whatever else she needed. You know what I mean? So one thing you have to realize, man, is that the state is getting ready to come in and cut you off at the waist concerning your 401k. All that money you stacked up, now half of that is going to her. Regardless if she invested or not, half of your 401k is going to her. Now, you remember all those hours you worked, just to make sure she had everything instead of working 40 hours. You've been working 60, maybe 80 hours the last few years. Now, the one thing that's going to hurt you, is going to bite you on that W-2 you've been getting every year. Now the courts are going to use that to determine your child support. So where you've been working all this time to make sure she's happy, now you're in a position where you can't go back to working 40 hours because your child support is going to be based on this. I mean, let me tell you something about child support. Child support has absolutely nothing to do with what it takes to supply for your child or your children. In your mind, you're saying, you know what? Okay, me and this woman, we had a child. So let's look at the cost of raising this child, whatever it costs, daycare, diapers, food, whatever, and let's split it down the middle. That's not how it works, man. When you start working that 80 hours per week and you start, clearing 6 figures, you're now finna be in a position where not only are you supporting, sending money for your child, you're sending more than enough money for your wife to live lavishly on that. And that's the part, men, that you never hear. That's the part where men are talking about they're getting screwed. That's what they're talking about. I've never met a man that says, you know what, well, I'm paying child support and I'm getting screwed just because of the fact I'm paying child support. There's no real man that doesn't want to take care of his children. But what bothers most men is when they have to write a fat check every month to not only take care of that child, but to keep supplying their wife with these lavish things. And see, people know this. The government know this. So it's just a tool that's being used. Now, at this part of the movie, man, you're down on your luck. Money is extremely low. Times are hard. But it's one thing you need to know, man. MGTOW men, this movement we have, we will always be here for you when you come back. And the reason is because most of us watched and lived that same movie. We made the same mistake. So we're telling you these things so you don't have to go through it. But even for you blue pill men that are going to make that mistake, we will still be here when you come back this way, man. So just keep that in mind. So before you walk down that aisle, man, make sure you just think long, think hard, get advice, and make a smart decision. It's your boy Soul Immortal with Immortal Minds, and I'm out.